everybody. It is what? April 22nd, 2016's weekly wrap-up. That's what it is. And wasn't here last week to wrap it up, so I've got two things to talk to you about. Last week released another lesson in the Melisma course that was all about tweaking your tone. That has to do with really feeling or understanding how to move the tone around inside the spatial part of your head. That's what's going on there. And then this week released another section or a lesson of I'd Rather Drink Muddy Water with Nate Pruitt and Rick Vandeveer. And that's kind of in the same line. That particular clip actually deals with Nate doing something very similar, changing his voice in a way to darken it up a little bit and then come back in, being very playful with his sound. So kind of both of those lessons are in the direction of the same topic. One's just a very good demonstration of using it. The other one's actually knowing more about how to use it. So that's what happened. That's what we've done and released in the last couple weeks. That's what's going on. And now the musical tip of the week. Let me talk a little bit more about warm-ups. I like talking about warm-ups for singers. And I use different warm-ups for different reasons. If I'm in a performance and there's no place to warm up, I'm playing in some club or something somewhere where no matter where you go, there's going to be people and you're talking about, you have to get a quick one in. When I'm doing things like that, maybe out in the car for a minute or two, if I can find my way in there. If not, my quickest warm-up is just to do a quick lip roll. Up and down a little bit, and an NG with a little bit of a siren, and hey, that's about it. I'm ready to go. But when you really have time, when it's practice time and you want to warm up, there are lots of things that you can do. First of all, you should warm up physically as well as making sound. What I mean by physically is relaxing your shoulders, relaxing the neck, relaxing the jaw, actually massaging the hinges of the jaw, relaxing underneath the tongue, dropping the jaw, even as ridiculous as this looks, sticking your tongue out and stretching it like that actually helps. These, which we all know just as shoulder, stretches, all of these things to just get your body moving, get the blood pumping a little bit by moving around. Those things really do help. So now again, even on a longer warm-up, after you've warmed up the body, then it's time for a vocal warm-up. A little bit of a vocal warm-up actually with that tongue stretching. But then back to something separate from the quick warm-up I was just talking about, using the lip rolls or tongue trills again, and just taking the lip rolls and sirening up and down with them. Trying to keep it as constant and consistent as possible. That helps loosen up the jaw. That helps give you a feeling of constant airflow without interruption. And when you're doing it, you're always looking for a very constant, not a choppy kind of a thing. So that really helps. Now, I talk about sirens all the time, and the sirens are great for, again, getting your vocal equipment going and getting a little bit of stretching as far as your vocal folds are concerned. And when you do sirens, you want to use various shapes and sounds, meaning using different vowels like ooh, sirens, again, start to stretch. And the reason why it's important to use the different vowels is because each vowel is a different shape. And you want to coordinate that ascending through your registers with all the different shapes, because obviously the different shapes of vowels, because that's the middle of the words, and that's is going to be what you're going to be dealing with when you're really singing songs. Now, another cool thing to do is to buzz or hum. So like, and when you do a hum, that you don't attack it heavy. Zuzi, zi. Again, looking for consistency, constant airflow, no interruption, holding the tone beautiful and straight, and being able to control it. Now, there's one other exercise that's been around for a long, long time. I learned it when I was very, very young. It's called the yawn-sigh exercise. And the man who gets the credit for that exercise, his name is William Vennard. He wrote a book called Singing Mechanism and Technique. It's a very old book, but it's still a standby for vocal instructors, those that really want to learn a little bit more about the anatomy of singing. And the yawn-sigh is just like what it sounds like. You sort of begin the beginning of a yawn and you go, oh, that's sighing. Now, when you sigh, you open up your throat. The larynx is depressed a little bit. You don't want to super depress it, but pulling the larynx down a little bit helps counterbalance the larynx from wanting to rise. William Vennard used it a lot with things like a oh, ah, ah. But when you do that, don't dig too deep into your sound. So those sirens up, ooh, the yawns down, the lip roll for consistency, the NG for the feeling of good but slow released air, much like a hum. The difference is with the lips together, the tongue is down in the back. With the NG, the tongue is up in the back. And you should practice in both those positions, again, just to get a consistent flow and feeling of how the air goes. Now that, I will tell you, is better than just the musical tip of the week. There's a lot of good musical tips and a lot of gold nuggets and magic on how to really get your voice going and sustain it and control it within the things that I just offered you. So there you have it, the wrap-up for April 22nd, 2016's weekly wrap-up. We released a couple of different lessons as well as some really good musical tips for you. So see you next time.